And we're live. Live with Support Black Business TV. Episode 80. We got Shadow of Shadow Riders Army. And today we're gonna do a little bit something different. He got a live show coming up, and we're gonna do he's gonna do a couple snippets of what you're gonna see during this show. Uh, if you don't know or if you haven't read his bio, whatever, you can check that out obviously in the description below, and find that he's also a member of Black Folk Hotspots, one of our premium members who get it in and allow us to help them grow their business, which is the same reason that we do these shows. Whether you are a premium member or not, if you're a black business owner, we want to talk to you. Our only requirements are that you got a free profile on Black Folk Hotspots, so that we can have something to share back to our people. Anyway, Shadow, how's it going?
Good, man. The plan is working. The plan is working.
Well, I told you it's always it always works when you sit back and you work on things based off of just doing small things every day to be consistent. I think that most people have a problem is they have all these grander goals, which is great because we all have them, but you got to break them back down into bite-sized chewables. And you do those things consistently on a daily basis. And that's why even, and I know we've talked about this, a couple of times, but that's why Black Folk Hotspots has done, and has done as well as it has without any national publicity, with any national, or any A-list celebrities or B-list or even C-list celebrities that I know of. I don't even know what that exactly is, but I heard somebody talk about a C-list celebrity. And it's all about doing the right things and doing things consistently. So we haven't talked in a few weeks. So what's new with the Shadow Riders Army?
Man, I'm getting ready to go mobile, man. There's two campaigns that I'm pushing, really kind of two in one. So I got we're working with a company called Tilt to do a special live show in Arlington, Texas. We're still working out the kinks on that, but the way it works is basically you pre-order your tickets to the show, and if a certain number of people actually pre-order tickets, then we actually do the show. If we don't hit that certain number of people, then the show doesn't go on. And right now, I'm working with my team. I'm working with my Shadow Riders Army team right now. Shout out to the brother Lamont Atkinson with SOI Music Studio up in Washington State. We're working on a show up there in Washington State at this really cool venue that's like it's like a biker club, and it's got like an amphitheater, and it's a place where like just imagine like the movie Fast and Furious, like all the cars are parked around and everybody's hanging out, parking lot pimping. Plus, inside is a bar and a stage. Well, there's a spot up there in Washington State where we're working on doing a live show up there in Washington State too. So if you're listening in from Washington State, pay attention to what I'm going to say later, because you can get involved in helping me get up there. So we working with Tilt, and we're working with a company called We Demand, right? So We Demand is, if you go to wedemand.com, or you can check out the link in the description of this Google Plus Hangout, or just hit me up later. I'll say my phone number later on. But if you demand me in your city, that really helps out, and it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to spend any money. All you do is you go to the We Demand website, and you simply demand Shadow in your city. And the more people that we can get to demand in each city, the easier it is for me to come out there. So like what I'm doing right now, I'm telling all my Shadow Riders Army to go out and tell your friends to get 100 people to demand me in your city, your hometown, or your city. Once we hit 100 people, once the demand gets to 100 people in that city, then we can talk about booking. We can talk about, I can go talk to the venues that are out there in those cities. Me and my team, we can basically uh, book that venue, come and do a show, and we have command of the house. We can call the shots at that point because we can show numbers that, hey, look, 100 Shadow Riders Army members demanded me in this city, and they're willing to put their money up in support of Shadow and Shadow Riders Army and what we stand for. And we're trying to do that in every city that we got Shadow Riders at. So shout out to my girl Christina out in New York. Shout out to my girl Sunny out in ATL, Lamont over in Washington State. My boy Clay over in California, over by Sacramento area. And also my girl Emmy out in Houston, that's been shouting me out. My girl Denise up in Canada. If you tuning in, demand me up in Canada. My girl Jalate up in Paris, France. Shout out to her. My boy Roddy over in Japan. Every one of these people I've named, they're down for the Shadow Riders Army. They had the bravery to call my number, to text me at 817-500-0061, and I can hit them up on my phone anywhere, anytime. They have the same access to me anywhere, anytime. So it's really real, man, and it's happened. And you can participate in the Thunderclap. That link is also a description, right? So all my Shadow Riders Army members, right, we're participating in the Thunderclap, and that's another company where you leverage the power of social media. So at a given day and time, all myself and all my Shadow Riders Army, we're gonna blast Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that in unison with one post that says Shadow Riders Army is mobilized. Demand Shadow in your city. And so what that's gonna do, that's gonna show the world that together we are unstoppable, man. So that's a whole lot of stuff that I got going on right now.
That's what's up. So it's growing pretty good, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, people actually putting their money up, buying the album directly from me. Remember how I told you the last show that I'm putting my album up for $1? You can buy it for $1 from me direct just by texting me.
Yeah.
Hey, they putting their money up, man. They
That's
put
what's
their
up.
money up. I got my Shadow Riders putting their money up, showing support, actually showing that they support me enough to invest in me so that I can continue creating more content, more art, and giving it to the world. They actually got my back, and it feels really good. And I mean, it's so cool to kind of reach out and find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? You find your tribe, you reach out, you see who's actually out there, who's really for you, man. It's like a real family. You
Yeah,
know?
that's how it's supposed. Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to a person the other day, and I was telling them, I was like, you know, um, a lot of times you have to define uh your audience, and a lot of times you don't even know who your audience is. So you know your audience, it's built off of one person. Is what I told him, and he was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, it's really built off of one person. So once you find that one person who becomes your target, because a lot of us think we know, but we really don't know
Right.
until you start doing things, and then you can start to say, okay, so my audience is this person, male or female, from this age group, from this age to this age, and then you build, and then you're gonna have some leftovers or some stowaways or whatever that's gonna come in. So say, I'll give you, Black folk hotspots are I ain't gonna say our target. That wasn't what we thought, but what we found out was the majority of the people that's in our network and in our audience are between the ages of 35 and 45. They are female. About 65% are female. Um, and so if you take it a step further, and there's a few other little metrics and things too with that. But if you take it a little further, then the next subset is actually pretty much tied, almost even, goes down to 25 and up to 55. And then that's the female side. And the male side is pretty much the same thing in the 35 to 45. And then, obviously, and it kind of mirrors each other at about 30, 33%. So now I know that females 35 to 45 and a few other metrics with that female is our target. And if we target that, then we'll start to expand, into the 25 to younger and a little bit older, and then also the men will grow. So, to take that a step further, you can look at the men, which is a smaller subset, and you can say, hey, I want to target more men, but I know that that's a 35 to 45-year-old male, and then it'll actually grow. And that's how, over the years, that's how I've grown it, by looking at numbers and looking at stats. So, but that's just, a little tidbit. Like, I always like to throw out some little nuggets of, I can't tell you what will work 100% for you, but I can tell you what has worked. And you've seen it, what has worked for Black folk hotspots. And you can take some of those nuggets and you can put them into what works, into motion with the Shadow Riders Army and any other business. I learned a lot from listening and reading and watching other cats, and then their business might be a little bit different, but then once I start to just take some of the nuggets, one of the reasons why I read books all the time, I might go buy 5 books, and out of those 5 books, it may be 5 chapters out of all of them total that really, really stick with me. And that's how it is. So, okay, that's good. So, give me that what? So what's that link that I know you hit me up earlier? What's the link for that people can demand?
We Demand. You go to wedemand.com. Actually, if you just text me, if you're listening to this right now, it'll be easier if you just text me and ask for the link. So you can text me at +1. It's the international country code is 1 +1 817 500 0061. If you text me and say, yo, I want the We Demand link so I can demand, Shaddow in my city, text me that, and I'll say, yo, what's up? Thank you. Add yourself to my phone book, and then I'll send you the link right over. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. But for lazy people, what's the link?
The link, if you just go to wedemand.com /Shaddow Music, you should get me. So check it out. If you can. But
okay.
Before I before it gets too deep into it, I want to do something a little special right now. I really want to give you guys a lot of value, so I'm gonna do a snippet of a few songs real quick that I'm working on for the live show.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, for the lovers.
Can I talk to you, girl? I want you to be inside my world. Inside my world. Can I talk to you, girl?
You gotta move real slow
I want you to be my special girl.
Yeah.
My special girl. Yeah.
Nice eyes, small waist. You a classy girl. Yeah, you got taste. I see that green light.
It's written on your face, saying come on over. So I been close and gently brush your hair back, touch you on the hand, say we got that contact. You whisper in my ear and tell me that you like that. Yeah, I like that too. So we conversate, we take it slow. Girl, let's have a drink with the lights low. Tell me about your dreams and your life goals. Ain't no limit to just how far that this could go. To the dance floor, let's take it to the dance floor. Let me grab them hips as we grind slow. Cause girl, I love the way that you grind that thing for me. Can I talk to you, girl? I want you to be inside my world. Inside my world. Can I talk to you, girl? I want you to be my special girl. My special girl, I wanna be friends and lovers. Friends and lovers. Friends and lovers. I said I wanna be friends and lovers. Friends and lovers. Friends and lovers. So please don't judge me. I know that you are nervous, girl, and I understand that. But you don't have to worry, girl. You know I got you back. 'Cause you know that when you're good in your bad time, I held it down. And no matter what happened, I'll be around. 'Cause you are my star angel. My ex-girl. Yellow. Haven't seen your face in 4 or 5 weeks, but I still think about caressing your cheeks and the time we can spend up under my sheets. And I know you think about it too, you big freak. Got a bond that's stronger than Bubba's glue. Good work, good play, good combo too. All the other girls hate and they're jealous too, 'cause they know we're just friends and I'm feeling you. Cause I don't know when I'll ever get the chance to feel this feeling again. That's why, girl, I wanna be friends and lovers, yeah, friends and lovers, yeah, friends and lovers. I said I wanna be friends and lovers, yeah, friends and lovers, yeah, friends and lovers. So please don't judge me. Oh, love my friend, but I know that we are just friends. Yeah. I know I'm selfish, but I can't help it, but I never wanted to end. Yeah. And I'm addicted to love my friend, but I know that we are just friends. Yeah. I know I'm selfish, but I can't help it, cause I never wanted to end. Oh, yeah, to love you, cause I don't know when I'll ever get the chance to feel this feeling again. That's why, girl, I wanna be friends and lovers, friends and lovers, friends and lovers. I said I wanna be friends and lovers, friends and lovers, yeah, friends and lovers. So please don't judge me. I'm chilling with my favorite girl tonight. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm turning off my cell phone cause I like to be focused on the things you do. Cause, yeah, takes me up on another level. I feel like rockets and stratosphere, so we're together. Birds of a feather, cause we connect just like angel wings, so we in heaven. And the chemistry's amazing. Plus I know that you will never leave me faded. But every time you turn my frown into a smile, I promise now that I'll always hold you down. Yeah. When you around, you get me so high, my baby. I always win, cause you're my friend. You keep me inspired, baby. Special girl, you be my world, and I want you to know that. Make me find you one of a kind. You're the reason that I woke this time with you. yourself to deep town.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank
That's
you.
that's what's up. No saxophone, no saxophone playing.
Yeah, I'm saving that for the next one, man. If
All
you want to
right.
see saxophone, if I wanted to show that I'm working on something other. So I'm trying to give people like a variety, man. So um, I did those songs with the homie Lex Xander. It's a rapper up in Washington State called Lex Xander. We did a mixtape together. That's some of the snippets off of the mixtape we did. So and I co-produced a lot of that music that you heard, and we were working together, and we're working on some new stuff now. So one of the things that I want to do is like reach out to him and not only perform by myself, but like reach out to that brother too, and like we could collaborate on the live show if when the tilt hits in Washington State. But yeah, I was gonna do some saxophone too, man. I was, but I'm not set up for it. I'm not set up for it yet, like right now, because I wanted to make sure I got to this interview on time. So,
It's all
um,
good.
the next time we do one, man, I do another saxophone piece. You know.
No, that's what's up, man. I mean, you know what? There's always something different because that's the way that we look at things. So, um, at this point, it is what it is. I'm glad to see you moving and shaking and making some moves, and that right there is bigger than anything. So yeah, that's what's up, man. So how's things down in Texas? I see both.
Mhm.
On a lighter note, I see both y'all teams got knocked out the playoffs yesterday. The Rangers gone
Yeah.
and the Astros gone. What's up with that?
Are
I
you
mean,
showing them the website? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but what's up with the
All
Rangers
the
and the
different
Astros down in
conferences,
Texas? Why they
shows.
out? What happened? They couldn't. What happened in the playoffs? You're not into baseball, huh?
Man, you know what? All my Texas teams, man, I show love regardless, man. Regardless, man. Regardless. I'm always gonna show love for Texas teams. 'Cause that's where I'm from.
Right, I know that. That's what I'm saying. So the governor tweeted the other day that, congratulations to the Houston Astros for advancing to to the next round, and that didn't even happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, you ain't got nothing to say about the teams. What's up?
Man, actually, you know what? I've been so like into the creative process. I've been like a hermit, man. I haven't been keeping up with them a whole lot. I just like whenever somebody talks about it on Facebook or like as far as the Cowboys, that's the only or the Texas Rangers. Everybody's going crazy about them, and I love them. But it's like since I've been working on the launch of Shadow Riders Army, I just been like so devoted to that, man, and looking for inspiration and trying to stay motivated and stay consistent and just keep building, man, because everybody's waiting on it. So I'm just trying to work, man. I'm working. Like when everybody watching the game, I'm working. When everybody eating barbecue after the game, I'm working. When everybody, got that itis and fell asleep after the game and after they ate, I'm working. When they wake up the next day, I'm working. So I'm catching up with everything, you know, after the fact. So I'm you know what I'm
I,
saying?
I get it. As a business owner, I get it, but I'm gonna tell you something. Stay in the know because those are conversations that
Yeah.
that grow into your business. Because like right now, I'm working, but I'm also watching the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints. And when I finish this, when we close this out, um, this laptop is going to be on the Dodgers and the Mets because that builds engagement.
Right.
and you're connecting. You'll connect with your audience because a select set of them are watching the game, and those are your people that's going to buy your album. Always remember that. And I tell people that all the time. With Empire, with Power, with a lot of these different shows, being Mary Jane, or all these different little things. There's certain people that'll look at these things and they'll have their, oh man, that's garbage and that's this, and I'm like, yeah, but millions of people are watching. So you got to stay somewhat in the know, because you got to have that conversation, and because that may bring somebody who maybe was on Facebook for, even if you just make a post about it, like, hey, you know what, dang, something about it. It may bring somebody that's a part of that's in your network that might not necessarily had seen or even know. Just like I talked to you about that jab left hook, or jab
Oh, yeah.
right hook.
You see me jabbing, man. You see,
That part is you
if you on
can't give, but you can't give everybody right hooks.
Man, I'm
The
jabbing.
left hooks could be the Texas Rangers. The left hook could be the Houston Astros. The left hook can be the Dallas Cowboys. And basketball season about to start too. So now you got, now you have the Houston, the Rockets, and you got the Mavericks. So those all are left hooks. So I'm gonna keep you on keep you in there, and because at the end of the day, I could talk business for 2 weeks straight, more than that. But it's one of those things that I learned, and once I learned that, the audience started to grow. So what's next? What's happening in the next? So you got the on demand thing. Oh yeah. So while you were playing, I Googled that tilt thing, right? Which was really, really interesting. So I would advise everybody who's watching this or to watch this to just Google, just put in tilt in Google, TILT, and just look at the page.
Also Google thunderclap.
No. Listen to the tilt thing that you talked about.
Yeah.
So when I Googled it, something very interesting happened to my page. But I would recommend that people Google, and just to show you how funny Google is, right? And check out what happens. But now with the thunderclap, so I got a question for you about that.
Yeah.
I'm on your thunderclap page now. Yeah. Okay, so, and I remember doing this before, but for somebody else. Now, you said that it looks like once it hits this goal on November 14th, a certain message will now be sent out to at the same time by everybody who joined.
Right.
So how exactly? So if I share this, supported with my Facebook, so nothing. It will just try to get other people to join in too, and then we'll all have the same message to go out on the 14th. Is that how it works?
Yeah, like all in unison. Like how everybody was doing the rainbow flags on their profile pictures.
Yeah.
Or the the Marcus Garvey flags, the red, the black, and the green.
Right.
And I think you got your picture like that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody did that, and so you saw that on everybody's profile, and you knew what they stood for. This is the same thing, but it's just a post, and it's going to be a Shadow Riders Army post, and it's just going to say, hey, Shadow Riders Army, mobilize. We're global. Demand shadow in your city. And so what that does like I was talking about, like when we're talking online and offline, the the goal with the Shadow Riders Army is to eliminate the need for mainstream gatekeepers and the evil executives that are the gatekeepers who are in control of the radio stations, who they who will judge you if you don't fit a certain mold, and they won't play your stuff on the radio. Same thing with MTV, same thing with the big distribution chains when you want to distribute your art to the world, when you want to distribute your music to the world. And I said back on the last interview, I said, I don't need them anymore. All I need is my Shadow Riders Army. And so this is the Shadow Riders Army banding together as a group and doing kind of like an internet flash mob, you know, internet flash mob. So I was talking with my girl, my homegirl Christina, who's a Shadow Rider up in New York. She really wants me to come to New York, man. I mean, she's texting me. I'm talking to her like, one on one, just like we talked about. She really wants me to come to New York, and she's telling me venues. She's saying, "Yo, you could play over here. Here's the address to the Blue Note. Here's the address to this club. Here's the address to this place. Come to New York and play." You know what I'm saying? And I said, I need more fans. I need more fans in your city. That's the only way we're going to get booked out there. That's the only way the venues are going to pay attention to me. It's because I need more fans. If I don't have enough fans out there, we can't get booked. We can't get proper transportation, lodging, the proper attention that we need from the venue to accommodate us, to uh to give my band what they deserve, as far as backlines, so they can set up their instruments and give us everything we need to put on a good show. Not a half-ass show. My Shadow Riders, they deserve more than that. And so for me to do it right and to do it at the highest quality, I need more fans in New York. And Christina's like, she's down, man. She's like, she's telling her friends she bought the album. She's out, you know, promoting for me right now. But the more people that join in New York and demand me in New York, they also join the fight to get it where it needs to be. And then once we hit like 100 people, that's like the minimum that it would take for a venue to say, okay, this Shadow, I never heard of you before, but it's 100 people over here that live right around the corner from our venue here in New York City that say they will spend money, they will put their money up and buy a ticket to our establishment to come and hear you perform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing with the Thunderclap. So when we all drop that message on when we all drop the Thunderclap, if we hit 100 people on Thunderclap, all their friends on social media are going to see that post and they'll be like, "What's this? Who's this guy? Why should I be paying attention to this guy?" And they're going to be curious because their friend who posted it, is a fan of mine, and I should say their friend who posted it is my family because you down for Shadow Riders Army. You locked arms with me. You helping promote on the grassroots level to show the world like, look, I don't need. All I need is my Shadow Riders Army. That's all I need. I don't need no big marketing budget. I don't need no big no radio promotion. I don't need billboards. All I need is my family. That's all I need. We can go out here and do it ourselves. You know what I mean? And so that's what the Thunderclap is. So on November 14th, everybody's who supports the Thunderclap in unison will post that, and then everybody who sees that, they're gonna see the music, they're gonna see the videos, they're gonna see everything that I do, and they're gonna get excited just like their friend is who posted that, and then they're gonna demand me in all the cities where they live at, and it's gonna create a ripple effect, man. It's gonna create a bomb. It's gonna like let the world know like This is who we are. This is what we stand for. You know what I mean? One one strong, loud cry in unison. You know what I mean? Positivity, being unique, being empowered, cool music. You know what I'm saying? The lifestyle, all of it is what we stand for. You know what I mean? So that's what the thunderclap is, and it doesn't cost you any money. You know, it's something that you can just do, and that's why I really like it, because a lot of people, they want to support you, and they want to, you deal with hometown people who want you to, you want them to come out to their show, but they don't want to spend no money on your show because they could spend money on beer or whatever like that, and they really don't see it yet until somebody else sees it. You know what I mean? They need that third party validation. You know what I mean? And for the super fans, the family who really believe in me, and I want to give them my best, man. I don't want to give them a half-ass show. I want to give them the best quality material I can. But in order for me to do that, I need a stronger demand so the venues can see that it's a demand for me in that market. And then once it's demand for me in that market, we book the show. The money changes hands. I'm on my way. We do the show. Everybody cool, everybody happy. I get to be with my family in your hometown USA. Boom, we do it in one city. Boom, we do it in the next city. Boom, we do it in the next city. Boom, boom, boom. And I did it without television. I did it without MTV. I did it without radio. All I needed was my Shadow Riders.
That's what's up, that's a nice way to do it too. While you were talking, I had some ideas, and so here's the deal. So make sure, just like you just talked about, make sure you do a YouTube video, your
Mm-hmm.
own, just talking about this, what you're trying to do with the demand and thunderclap and how they work together, and then make sure in the description you post those links so that people can do that, and then obviously put that on Black Folk Hotspot so we can start to move it, but also because it'll start to build that YouTube thing and what you're trying to do. Secondly, create an event around this thunderclap thing. you
Yeah.
know, create an event, um, you know, make the end date, make it start obviously now and make the end date when the last day that a person can add their social sharing and see how that works and start to get that into the rotation. Um, but those are the two things that I would do, and I think that uh, you'll get a little bit more out of some certain things. So
Yeah, and you know what we talked about offline? We're still preparing for that other part that I can't talk about for the Shadow Riders Army. This is all working up to that, man.
oh
I
yeah,
know we can't talk about it in public, but like, man, while everybody's excited about what we're doing now, they really gonna get excited when they see the growth of where Shadow Riders Army is going. When they see like what's really what we really got planned for them, bro,
that's what's up. I mean,
bro.
that's
You you
that's
you know you already know, right?
oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. That's
yeah, yeah,
that's that's the way it's supposed to be. So um, it's going to, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
gonna change a lot. They gonna know who we are, bro. They're gonna take us seriously. This is entrepreneurship and independent business ownership, small business ownership at its finest, man. Wrestling with an idea, wrestling with something that's wrong in the marketplace, wrestling with something that could be better, wrestling with something that could be changed in a market, and coming up with a solution that blows everything else out of the water. Like Steve Jobs, you know what I mean? Like like Bill Gates, like the guy who invented the toaster, like the guy who invented radio, like Elon Musk and the Tesla cars. We're gonna change the world. We're gonna change the world.
Right. Hey, that should obviously. That dude's sorry. He gonna get cut. Not to cut you off, man, but that dude just missed my field goal. Hey, this dude, he didn't miss so many field goals this season. He sucked. But you're right. He yeah, especially if they lose this game. But yeah, man, that's the thought process that we need to have. So let me ask you, did you hear about the Million Man March that just the anniversary just happened?
Yeah, I knew about the Million Man March, Farrakhan, all that. Yeah.
Have you did you think about going perhaps or no?
I'm gonna take. I thought about going, but then I was like, as far as the black community, that's what we need to be doing. We need to stop marching and praying so much and start doing things. Start building businesses. Start hitting it where it really counts, in the money, in the business ownership, and building group economic structures, power structures, pooling our income, pooling our resources, owning and controlling things, not marching. So, and I've heard, Farrakhan talked a lot about exactly what I just said, and the people needed to hear that. But if, I mean, if all they're gonna do is just meet together at some location and march, and then listen to Farrakhan talk, and then go back home and go eat some Cheetos, then what good was it for? You know what I mean? Actually go out and do something. Do the thing that is gonna change everything for the better. Self-reliance. You know what I mean? Doing for self. Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Building.
So
Do more
let me
building.
so let
Do
me
more building and less talking. You know what I'm
so
saying?
let me put something on you real quick.
Yeah.
So I know it's too late. You can't go back to the future, but I think that you might have missed a great opportunity.
Mm.
When because and I just had this the same conversation yesterday with the female, and she's saying the same things that you're saying, and which means that us a lot of people saying the same things. But the
Mm.
problem is that's kind of some flawed thinking, and the reason why I say that, um, so I want you to understand the reason why I'm saying that is because it's happening and it's been happening. But I think us in our eyesight, we don't necessarily a lot of times see it happening. For instance, you remember Black Folk Hotspots.
Yeah.
There's with 2,200, 2,184 others currently right now.
Right.
That's 2,100 black business owners that's in one location, whether they're all active or not. Right? They're all still in one location, which means that they have the same information available to them. So anything that, as a whole that we send out, there's, there's a good percentage that most people, the majority of those people will see it. And that's just 2,100, right? The
Yeah.
audience that we reach into is in the 300s total. So those people connected with us because they wanted to get the information from these black business owners, right? So,
Right.
and I'm gonna give you something that I don't necessarily always talk about. With this 2,100, we're bigger than a lot of cities in the United States. As far as if you want to consider every member a resident, because they are, but if you want to consider them a resident of the city, right? What we know is everybody's not going to participate per se, right?
Right.
They may pay their taxes. They may get up and go to work every day and do the things they need to do and just be good citizens. And you'll never hear from them. You'll never know them, right?
Right.
So, but then you got some who they'll want to be elected into maybe the city council, maybe be mayor, maybe be on the school board, maybe be on the, different committees, maybe be on block club committee, different little things around the city, right?
Right.
And then you have, others that say, hey, I live in this city and we're just going to call this city BFHS, right? And it's pretty cool here. We got low crime. We got businesses and residents that support each other, that have fun. You should come move to our city, right? But those conversations are done, either by email or social media or phone calls, which means the mass population outside of that city or even in that city don't even necessarily ever hear it happening, right? It's me calling you. You hear it, so you come visit me, and you like, whoa, this is a cool little city.
Yeah,
it's not that far from, it's. I'm just gonna use your location. It's close to Dallas. It's 30 minutes, 45 minutes to Dallas, or in my case, I'm 30, 45 minutes from Chicago. So if you want the big city life, you can hop in your car and drive to the big city. And then when you want to go back to the small city life, you can go back home. Right? So I'm equating that whole thing to kind of what you said, but also, with these conversations I've been having about, basically this marching and all these type of things. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I agree. A lot of these marches and things like that, they don't necessarily work. But what's happening is it's almost no different from what you're doing with Thunderclap. Because what you're doing is you're trying to get a group of people together to say something all at one time, which is what a march does. Whether it's Black Lives Matter, this, whatever it may be, you got X amount of people, whether it's 1, 10, 1,000, 2,000, 2 million, 100, whatever it may be, all saying the same thing in unison. Somebody's hearing it. But what's happening in the background is this. There's people that are doing this. They in the back and they doing this. They slowly interlinking and they're building their networking and they're building networks with each other. And they're saying, we need to talk after this. Give me your number. Give me your card. Let's holler. Let's create this. And then they get together, put those heads together, and they create Shadow Riders Army.
Right.
Shadow Riders Army is growing in the background. We've already talked about it. It's things that I know that the most people don't know what's going on with Shadow Riders, right?
Right.
I'm not putting your information out there because it's not ready to launch yet.
Right.
But to somebody else, and I'm just going to use this as, from Straight Outta Compton, from the movie when Cube's mama, no, was that Cube's mama or Dre's mama? Dre's mama was saying, you only made $50. You only making $50. And he's saying, mama, I'm going to be huge. Right?
It's a start.
To the point where he had to leave the house because she stayed on him because she didn't see her vision. Couldn't match his. Now you got a young child.
She had blinders on, man.
Exactly. Which is what I'm saying. Which is what I try to tell, the female, and I'm gonna tell you, and she didn't understand it either. And I even broke it down to Black folk hotspots. I said, you'll be amazed at how many business owners I talk to on a daily basis. And you'll also be amazed at some of the conversations that are being had. Now, these conversations can't always be discussed to the public right now because just like anything else. They're still in the ideal stage, which means there's some back and forthness going, right? For instance, I sit on the board of directors of our local Little League, right? We have meetings. The parents that are going to sign their kids up soon when we start registration, they don't know about these meetings. All they're going to do is show up, get a uniform, come to practice, and play. But somebody has to be ahead of the grounds crew. Somebody got to be working the scoreboard. Somebody got to be scheduling for the concession stands. Somebody got to be scheduling for cleanups. Somebody got to be scheduling games. Somebody got to be scheduling all-star games. Somebody got to be in contact with other leagues, right? But these are things that people don't see. They just know it happens. Now, if it doesn't happen, what people say is they ain't doing nothing. I paid this money. I did this. I haven't got nothing. Right? That's what you hear.
Yeah.
But nobody says, well,
that's what they're saying about small business owners. It's like this small business owner hasn't established a good reputation yet. So like anything he does wrong, you dogging him out for it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. My point with the march, because and one of the things that I said was to her, and I'll say it here, is it goes back to the 20 years ago. They say, oh, nothing happened in the 20 years. Well, I'm going to call bullshit on it. Because there was a lot of organizations that were formed and built out of that. And 20 years ago,
out of the first Million Man March.
Out of the first one. There was a lot of black men that said, I'm going to get my life right, and I'm going to go to college and get this degree, and then I'm going to go to law school so I can help fight for black males being murdered on the streets. That was in there that made that decision that day out of those millions of people that was there in 1995. One of them was Benjamin Crump.
Right. Strong brother.
One of them was Benjamin Crump. So a lot of times when you do things in mass, a lot of people don't necessarily see the little things that's happening that turn into big things, which is what I talked about earlier when I talked about consistency, having the big long-term goals and then breaking them off into little chewable daily consistency.
Yeah, the jab, jab, jab.
So it's just doing little things daily, little things. But they got to, because you start with the goal in mind and then you work backwards. You got to start with the end in mind. What do I want this to look like at the end? So, bam, now that I got this vision of what it looks like, same way if you're building a house. You don't start saying you may start with the bathroom, but ultimately you look at the whole, you look at, okay, I want my house to have this, I want it to have this, I want it to have this. Now you got to go backwards and start. Now you got to go get it drawn out. You got to go get this, you got to get this, and you build up to it. When you look at it, and then you as a person is driving past this house. Now, I don't know if you've known anybody who had their house built and they kind of walked you through each stage, but I've seen it twice. My one partner lived in Prosper, and my sister, when they both had their houses built, right? And, and my sister would take me in this house that was framed up in the middle of the winter and say, this is going to be the kids' area. This right here over here is going to be over their closet. This is where they're going, where they can have their like TV or whatever in the room or this. She showed me all these little different, nicks and crannies. This was just a house that had been framed. So it's like steps and wood everywhere. There's no walls. There's no nothing. When she was telling me, I just believed her, right? Because I couldn't see it, because this is what she had been working on, and this was her vision. This was her plan. She already knew. She knew every detail of that wood sectioned off house. I had no clue, right? No clue. I was like, yeah. But that's the trust. And so the trust in the Million Man Marches was that Farrakhan brought all these different people together, all these different people from around the world at this Million Man March. And I will say I was not there, but I did watch it. So I watched it live. Matter of fact, I've watched it. I'm on like 2.5 times to watch it because people keep saying certain things, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember seeing that. Oh yeah, because it didn't happen. Let me go and watch it again. And so, and it's running on C-SPAN. If any of you guys watching this, you can go to justiceorelse.com and you can watch it live streaming. You can also go to C-SPAN .org, I think, and go to the videos, and it's the whole 5 hours or whatever's almost 5 hours, and all the speakers for the majority of speakers. But my point is, there was Haitian people,
right?
There was Dominicans, there was Indians, there was Mexicans, there was some white ones, there was some blacks. The Dominicans talked about how why they talk Spanish, and the Haitians about why they French, and the Mexicans on why they speak Spanish. It's all about the territories, the French territory, the Spanish territory, who were invaded, whatever. That's how they came about these things. Now, so it was a history lesson, but it also brought different not different cultures, but different countries together. So now that we as people can go, damn, that dude looked just like me.
Just like you. You're right, brother. It's
breaking, just like me.
It's tearing down those cliquish walls. You know what I mean? It was what it needs to do. You're right.
That we folks don't know. Up. Exactly. That we don't know. My girl said the other day, she was like, hey, I was watching, I think it was the Breakfast Club or something. They had this Indian. She was black. Dude, darker than me.
But she's Indian, though.
The same features. If I would have saw on the street, I'd have said probably what we would consider is exotic, right? She has some different features, but the skin color is black, but her hair is a little bit different, or maybe, but everything else. So I would call those exotic, right? And so
she got more melanin in her skin than you do.
Well, I ain't gonna say all that, but I think that it might be the same. But I get it. It's just that the exotic side of things says that, hey, you from a different somewhere. I just don't know where. No different from our Dominican brothers and sisters, and our Mexican brothers and sisters, and our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, and our some of our other Caribbean brothers and sisters, from Cuba or these other places. Because once you realize that, the one thing that most people forget is once you see these things, you go, damn, we're not the minority.
We are not.
But if they can keep us thinking that, if they can keep the Mexicans fighting with the blacks and the Puerto Ricans fighting with the Mexicans and the Dominicans fighting with the Haitians and the whatever island fighting with this island, or now you separated yourself. But when it's just sort of like if I was dating two women, my whole goal is to keep them apart from each other, keep them feuding.
Why you gotta do it like that, Ryan?
Because if you keep them feuding, they're not talking.
Yo, you can say, yo, baby, I'm down for polygamy.
No. You say if you keep them feuding, they're not talking. If somebody can keep me and you feuding, we're not talking to each other. We may talk at each other, but we're not talking to each other, because the minute we start talking to each other, we find out, wait a minute here, we both getting screwed.
Yeah, and then
you see my point. And so that's why those things are important, to bring all those people together. Not only that, but it was plans laid out, and like the chick said, that ain't no plan. I would say that Farrakhan, being the national leader of the Nation of Islam, I would say that he pretty much has a plan. I don't think he just wakes up and goes out on a limb every day. I'm sure every now and then, but I'm gonna say that I don't think that he wakes up and just like I'm gonna wing it today. I don't think that this anniversary of the Million Man March, as well organized as it was, with people coming in from all over the world, was a wing job. So I'm going to venture to say that there's a plan. Now, I may not know about the exact plan, but I know there's a plan. And it's not a plan to do anything weird. And just like he said, everybody always wants to know what's the or else. Well, the or else is something that you said. We're going to pull back some of our resources because you know what? We got a lot of power here.
That's right.
And so
once people wake up.
Exactly. What I told the chick was Black Folk Hotspots was given to me in a dream in November of 2008. A dream. Woke me up out of my sleep. Said, why don't you do what you've been doing for yourself, but for black people, but for people that look like you? I got up that day, I called off, and I started working. In 2011, I was January 26th, I want to say, I was full-time. No more corporate strings, no more of this. So for the last, 2015 going on November, so almost 12, 13, 14, 15. So what? 4 years later,
here we are.
I'm not punching a clock for no one else unless I decide to do something for somebody.
Beautiful.
Right? Unless I decide to partner with somebody. Unless I decide to say, hey, you know what? I need to do this, so I got to do this. But it's all with Black Folk Hotspots in mind. If I can help this business, if I can do this, I can partner here. You know, I told a chick that I know that just opened a restaurant, nice restaurant. I said, hey, you need a delivery driver. You need to get some of this out. I was like, you thought about this? She's like, yeah. She said, but I can't find anybody to be an independent contractor. I said, I'll do it. I'll drive for you for a couple hours a day. You ain't got to pay me nothing. I'll work off of tips. Right?
Yeah.
My whole point is, I'm not saying that I'm going to go work for you, but I will partner with you and help you. But it also helps Black Folk Hotspots too. You know, I get to meet some people who I might not have ever met. Right? I get to have some conversations that I may not have ever met. Now, I'm not doing this. This is not something I'm going to be doing for the next 10 years or 15 years. This is so that you can get this down pat. So that now you can bring some other people in, and for a couple hours a day, a couple days a week, I'll do it. But you need some other drivers because I'm not committing to you for 7 days a week doing all your working hours. It's just not going to happen. And, you know, and she was like, but, you know, my point is, and I'm sure that when I told her that, because she started kind of like back off to a certain point, she didn't understand that part, that I'm a business owner just like you are. So, but I'll help you get going. I'll help you get the things. And I've already showed her some tips and things and that just exploded her business just on social media. Now people are going in. Just one little simple thing that I suggested on the first day she opened, because I'm sitting here like, this place should be packed. I live in a city that's 90% black, or I'm from a city and I'm very close to that city right now. There's 90% black. This is a new joint, good food, this, that, and the other, that it should have been more than this little trickle people in every now and then. It should have been, 10 people waiting to get in. So I said, hey, let's take a picture. Let's put it on Facebook. Me and you. And I said, everybody that comes in here, whether you think they're somebody or not somebody, or just random, take pictures with your customers, especially if you're friends with them on Facebook. Tag them. and start this thing. A person's not going to get offended because you took a picture and you tagged them. Now, I may get offended if I'm not in the picture and you tag me.
Yeah, people love it
because I got nothing to do with it. I wasn't there. If you have an event and you tagging me, I don't like that. I don't do that to other people, and I always tell them, hell, as much as I post with Black Folk Hotspots, as much as we post with Black Folk Hotspots, how would you feel if I tagged you in every post that we post?
That's a lot of tagging.
Don't tag me unless I'm in it or it's directly related to me. I tag people every now and then, they get mad, but I'm tagging to mess with them, like on sports things and this, that, and the other, like my Cowboy buddies and my Texas Ranger buddies and my Houston Astro buddies or anything else, or my Laker buddies, friend buddies. So I tag them, but that brings interaction. That's how we get, that's social commerce, for lack of better words. But anyway, my point was, you'd have went out to DC. You'd have broke out your freaking saxophone. You would have started playing the Black national anthem, some other things, maybe a song that you made up. You would have stopped people in their tracks. You had your saxophone case open. You could have put on there, leave a tip, take a card. You see my point? It's hundreds of thousands of people there. Check this.
Networking opportunity. I feel you.
Because that's what it was. Because I guarantee you, just like 20 years ago, now somebody watching this, or maybe you could do your research on it. I'm going to do it to make sure that I'm correct, but I think I am. But the 100 Black men came out of that was one nonprofit community organization that came out of the first in 1995. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were founded from some guys from there, which is why it was the 100 Black men. So there's a lot of things that people are going to be bringing back to their cities. There's a guy running for mayor of my city that I was born and raised in that's been organizing for 15 years. You know what I mean? He attributes a lot of that to some of that Million Man March from back in the day. Dude, he's not even a mayor. He's not a police officer. They put security patrols at night. That's huge. Where he got a group of people who are patrolling parts of the city to try to shut down crime. That's not going to get no national news. That was the other thing. People was like, why these national media carriers didn't have it? Well, we already know why they didn't carry it. We know why they didn't talk about it. We know why BET didn't broadcast it. We know why they're not mentioning it after the fact. We know that. Why are we even discussing that? But the fact of the matter was that the fact that it wasn't carried on national media, advertising like that, and you still had all them hundreds of thousands of people there, speaks volumes. Which says one thing that that you're learning now is that you probably already knew, the one thing that I know. You don't need national media to grow something. Because you know what? If you can get the message to the consumers, directly to the consumers, is what he did. He went on radio shows. He invited people to his house. He targeted certain people. Said, "Hey Snoop, hey Jeezy, hey Puffy, hey this, hey Roland, hey Boyce Watkins, hey this. Come meet." Now, go back and tell your audiences. Go back and tell your networks.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there.
She argued me down. I said he used the same tools that are available to every one of us.
Everybody.
If we know how to organize. And I don't care what you want to say after that, because you cannot tell me I'm wrong. Because it happened. It happened. Now, if 2 or 3 people would have shown, he didn't just put up a Facebook event and pray that these people was going to show up, that they don't never show up. It's only 10% of those. If you put up a Facebook event and 100 people say they're coming, you can rest assured maybe 10 people may show up out of that. If that.
So what did he do?
He did it across a bunch of different areas. You had the Facebook event, you had the event here, you had it here, you had all these different people talking about it because he was in different spaces.
He went where the people were.
Different spaces. How did he get the Dominican people there? Somebody's network connected them with him. How did he get the Indians there? He went out and reached out to the chief. And they already know the deal. They getting taken just like we getting taken. They've been getting taken just like we've been getting taken. And you're talking to the chief, just like, and so he has the same knowledge that we have, that our chiefs have, and that we're gaining every day. So it's the same thing. It's strategy. It's strategy. And you know what? It probably was more rewarding that he didn't have to rely on ABC News or NBC News or CBS News or CNN or Fox News or CSNBC or MSNBC. It probably was even greater. The fact that you still can get these hundreds of thousands of people out there. Wasn't no damn Don Lemon out there. You know why? Because wasn't nobody getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Not one arrest was made. Not one.
Not one. Bro. That's why it wasn't the news coverage, because there wasn't anything negative happening. You
didn't get. He invited the people from Ferguson. He gave them a hands up, and that's another thing. He knows how to talk to people. And I've been telling people, you probably don't know this because it probably didn't hit the news in Texas, but a couple years ago, there's high crime in Chicago, which has hit the news, I'm sure, in Texas when they talk about that, you know. And in reality, it's still just a small percentage. But these ministers will get out there and try to go in the neighborhoods and try to calm it down, this, that, and the other. And these young guys on the street be like, man, get out of here. We ain't listening to you. And I don't blame them. Because when you come to them, you got to come and talk their language. You got to show them respect.
Mm.
You want to get something from somebody, show them respect first. I guarantee you 9 times, at least 8 times out of 10, that conversation is going to be positive from that point. But if I come to you disrespectful, I don't care if I think that I'm smarter than you, got more money than you, got more knowledge than you. I still got to come to you with respect. Because if not, if I come to you talking down, you're gonna tell me go fuck off. That's just the way nature works. Unless you a fool.
Yeah. You're gonna get the same energy that you put out right back in your face. Same boom, it's coming right back in your face. The same. Exactly.
I can't expect it. When I'm out there in the streets and I'm walking, you know, at nighttime, and I'm in Chicago and I'm going to the store or going here, and I see the young cats on the street, I speak to them first. What's up, man? What's up, young bro?
Yeah.
Whether they speak back or not is not my concern. I just put the positive energy in this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I might want to go to the gas station, get a snack or something like that. And I'm walking a block and a half when we live in Chicago. That's just how it is. I've done it in Atlanta. I've done it in Tennessee. I've done it in Indianapolis. I've done it in Gary, Indiana. I've done it in Dallas, Texas. I've done it in San Antonio, Texas. I've done it in DC. I've done it in Cincinnati. I've done it in Seattle. I'm trying to think. I've done it in Detroit. And I've never had any problems. Why is that? Because the old adage works. You give to receive. If I want to get respect from you, I get it back. Now, I'm sure every now and then somebody wanted to hit me across the head. You know, because maybe, you know, that's how they was feeling. But they didn't, for whatever reason. Maybe God, because he got his arms around me, I got a protection. But maybe because I'm living in the language that I'm being taught. respect first, get back. My grandfather taught me that. Everybody in the neighborhood loved my grandfather. My grandfather would talk to the winos on the street, to the people on the street that was working 40, 50 hours a week, the same way. How you doing? That's how the conversation started. It wasn't, man, you a wino, man. I taught you in school, and look at you now. It was never that. My grandfather picked up more cats from prison. I ain't never been inside of a prison, but I done been outside those prison gates so many times. And I used to ride to the big prison, whether it was minimum or maximum security prison up here, to pick people up that my grandfather would go pick up. And I never forget this one conversation. I ain't gonna keep you longer after this. There's this one dude, he had just finished serving 7 years. The first thing he did when he got in the car, he said, "Sarge, I didn't do it." And my grandfather said, I won't use his name, but he said, "You know what? I don't care if you did or you didn't." He was like, "I came here to pick you up. That's whether you did or you didn't, I don't know." He said, "But you just served 7 years for it. So you might as well say you did do it." You might as well own up to it. You know, and so that conversation with that guy has always stuck with me. But it was just the way that he handled it. My grandfather didn't owe that guy nothing to go pick him up from jail. He didn't owe him nothing. And he didn't owe that guy to bring him over, go pick him up to reshingle our house. He didn't owe him that. You know, those cats, those young dudes, you know, they used to want certain things. They would, "Sorry, can I borrow $5?" My grandfather, here. It was never anything. He was like, "Hey, if I don't get it back, I don't get it back. It's $5. If I didn't have it to give away, then I wouldn't even lend it. I don't even expect it back." Those cats used to, when my grandma used to get off work at 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock, I would watch them. They would walk from the street corner and stand. When my grandmother got out the car, they would stand there and wait for her to get into the house every night. These are the wino dudes.
Because they got love for your pops.
Because he taught them right.
The streets show you love back when you show love to the streets.
When you respect, hey man, do what you do.
Yeah.
You know, every house would get broken. I mean, houses would get broken, but that's just how it is. And so my whole point in going there was with Farrakhan. A lot of people look at Farrakhan. They're like, "Oh, Farrakhan."
At this point, I gotta go in a minute. So
yeah, for sure.
I gotta head out.
But that was my point, and you're doing the same things that you're doing with your music with Shadow Riders is the same thing he just did with that march. But I really think that for what you got going on, you missed a huge opportunity. And if I was you, I would try to find some of the people that did go from your area that's going to come back and network, because right now they're on fire. They're on fire. They're burning with desire to do certain things. You already got the same knowledge aspect that they're thinking of, this community stick together. Now plug in with them. And watch.
I can add to their fire, bro.
And watch Shadow Riders take off. And you ain't even got to do nothing. You can sit back and say, "What y'all need from me?" Because they ready to roll. I guarantee you, that's what these big events, that's what they do. It wasn't no march. They wasn't marching down the street, shouting nothing. They stayed right into just like that picture you saw 20 years ago with all those people behind that monument on that mall. It looked the same exact way. And that's what they did. They listened to those different speakers, whatever they were, from young to small to old to people that from different places, but look like you. That's what it was. And they listened to those different people, because those things, you just don't know who you inspire. Maybe the next Ben Crump or some cat are coming out of that. That's what it was. But anyway, hey man, thanks for coming on again. Like I said, anytime you got anything new that's coming up, schedule that time. Let's meet. Let's get it out to the people. Let's put it and get into the rotation. Because all it takes is one person to see it. I don't focus on views. I focus on who's seeing things. And if all it takes is one person to catch 5 minutes, like, oh, let me check this out. That's all it takes. So, you got the last words.
Yo, thank you so much for everybody who's out there listening to us. Much love to all my Shaddow Riders around the world. To everybody who's just listening in and experiencing me for the first time, I'm Shaddow. Shaddow Riders is my army. You can hit me up anytime. Text me, +1 817 500 0061. I'm available on the text at any time. Just hit me up. I'll bless you with the album. I'll bless you with some contacts. I'll bless you with some convo. Let's get it.
My man. All right, Shaddow, we'll talk soon, man. Keep up the good work, man. But make sure you do that thing as an event. Make sure you get you a YouTube video, talk about that thunderclap and what you're doing with that and how you're making those things work for your business, because people need to see it and it needs to be spread. You know, people spread videos and things like that a whole lot quicker than they spread statuses and stuff like that. So it works. It really does. Anyway, bro, episode 80 is in the books. I'm gonna get back into this
in the book
to this Falcons Saints game so I can ride my Falcon friends. And I'm an antagonist too. I go into situations and I look at these things like when the Falcons were doing really well and they was in the championship game, not the Super Bowl, but the game right leading up to it. I made sure that I rooted for the other team because I said I can't be in the same room with everybody rooting for the same team. So but I took video, so I always make sure I post that video for them to remember a couple years ago. But anyway, it's just fun to me, and we have a good time. But anyway, man, keep moving, keep doing your things. Remember consistency every day. I know it's sometimes it gets frustrating, but you know, once you got that, when you got that goal in mind, that's what keeps you going. I already know. So let's rock and roll. We'll talk soon, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Peace.
Keep riding. Peace.
One.
And like I always say, if you're a black business owner, go to blackfolkhotspots.com. You see it on the screen. Create your profile, free profile, so we can share you with our network of over 300,000 urban professionals. Peace out, y'all. Look in the links in the description below for anything that we talked about today or in this video. Peace. Go Cubs. Go Cubs. Go Fly to W. We're going now.